are the chances that you're going to run for president?
Very high.
You're a former businesswoman. Give me a number.
Higher than 90%.
And there's not much room higher than 90%, so let's ask Carly Fiorina if that number has gone up since Chris Wallace asked the question last Sunday. Carly, welcome back to the show. Great to talk to you again. Where are we on that 90% range?
Well, let me just say the number hasn't gone down.
Well, I'll take 90% as a pretty strong indication that you're planning to run. And I do hope you run, because I think you would make a wonderful candidate. And I think it's an element that the Republican Party really needs, is someone like you, and in fact you. Let me play for you something, because Chris Wallace brought up that you'd be Romney'd. Which means you were head of a corporation. You had to lay people off, and and they're going to bring somebody who's going to say, well, when I was laid off, I lost my health insurance, my wife died, so Carly killed my wife. And I want you to play with John. I want to hear what John Sununu, when I asked him about this the other day, here's how he responded. Here's how he said you should respond. Here we go.
Chris Wallace brought up is a question when Carly was there, she had to lay people off, and he was saying, what happens if somebody says, how many people did you have to lay off? And the right answer for Carly is, how many people died at Benghazi under Secretary
Clinton? What do you think about that?
Well, I think Governor Sununu is bringing up a great point, which is, look, this battle with Hillary Clinton needs to be about track record, accomplishment, leadership, capability, character, and Benghazi goes to the heart of her character, because she peddled a fiction for 4 weeks about what really happened there, and it goes to the heart of her capability as well, because she did nothing to protect that embassy when she was asked to do so, and she did nothing to respond to the terrorist attack that occurred.
See, I think, do you believe it's an advantage? Because I see you, based on what you've said about Hillary and how you've said it, and how you handled Chris Wallace, not that he was hostile in any way, I think that you won't be like, in my view, McCain and Romney were, if you're quote-unquote Romney'd, or if they attack you. I think you'll fight back, and that's something that was lacking the last 2 times around with our Republican nominee.
Well, I think we need a fighter. Because I think this is a fight. I think this is a fight about what we believe in this nation, what values and principles and policies work better to lift people up. It's a fight about the direction we take in the world as well as the direction we take in this nation. It is going to be a fight, and so we do need a fighter, and I'm not afraid to fight, and anyone who looks at my life knows that.
Okay, now let me go on with Hillary a little bit more here. The latest revelations about the server. I mean, I spoke to Shannon Coffin on the show. I mean, basically he said the Justice Department's not going to do anything. It's going to be up to Boehner in the House to pass a resolution, take Hillary to court, and that's going to drag on for 2 years before we ever get a judge to rule, yeah, hand over the server and hand over whatever emails you have.
Well, of course, that was the plan all along. That was her plan all along. Look, you don't do everything in an official government job as sensitive as Secretary of State on a private email account and a private server in the basement of your home unless you explicitly want to make sure that you can protect your communication. It was her plan. And to your point about Benghazi, this is all going to fade unless we have a nominee on our side who will put it back in front of the American people over and over and over again.
Yeah, no, I could not agree with you more. Let's talk a little bit about the rest of the field. I mean, do you feel it's an advantage to be a woman if Hillary's the nominee?
Well, look, everything about my resume is different. Yes, my gender is different from everyone else running on the Republican side, and it is the same as Hillary Clinton's gender. And so that will not allow her to play the war on women card or to play the gender card. And she won't be able to say, I'll be the first woman president. But beyond my gender, everything about me is different. My experience set is different. My resume is different. My perspective is different. My approach to problem solving is different than hers, certainly, and my voice is different. And so I think there are a lot of people in this country, as I travel the country, who are tired of politics as usual because it doesn't seem to be working well anymore.
What about the agreement announced today? I mean, something that might come into question is your foreign policy experience. I know you've traveled the world. I know you've sat down with Putin and other world leaders. But what's your take on what was announced today? I don't know if you had a chance. In all fairness, it just happened a little while ago. But the tentative agreement with Iran, what's your read on that?
Well, I would say first, President Obama took a victory lap very prematurely. This is a framework agreement with, quote, many details to be negotiated. So what do you suppose still is left to be negotiated? Inspections, numbers of centrifuges. Look, I've done a lot of deals in my life, of course not a nuclear deal with Iran, but there are certain things that are common to every deal. If you want a good deal, you have to be willing to walk away from the table. And this administration has never been willing to walk away from the table. So something that started out as a 6-month negotiation has dragged into now almost a 21-month negotiation. And meanwhile, Iran is getting exactly what they want.
So
Iran has all this time to continue to spin their centrifuges and create difficulties and problems in the Middle East and chant death to America and have sanctions eased. They're getting exactly what they want, and we won't walk away from the table.
And so this is a bad deal.
Well, first of all, we don't know what's in the deal. But secondly, it has been a bad deal for some time because we have stayed at the table, and meanwhile, Iran continues to refuse to submit itself to UN inspections. Iran continues to, through its proxies, wage war and destabilize the region. Iran continues to chant death to America. Iran continues to kill Americans. I mean, we are rewarding bad behavior by staying at the table. Iran, unfortunately, has us just where they want us.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, Carly, great to talk to you. And when might you decide by? Next month? In a couple of months? When?
I would say late April, early May.
That sounds pretty good. And I know you're going to announce, and I'm excited about it. And we'll look forward to having you back after that announcement.
Thank you so much.
Thanks
for having me.
Carly Fiorina, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome. Okay, folks, so we'll talk all about this and more, including the tentative deal announced today with Iran on the Malzberg panel. You're not going to want to miss it. You should never miss it. It's up next. Don't go away.